Hey, Buff Nation, voice of the Bus, Mark Johnson here. Coming up this week on the holiday edition of the Buffalo Stampede television show, Tad Boyle, now the winningest coach in Colorado men's basketball history. We're going to talk to the guy who got his own silhouette, by the way, on a T-shirt during the celebration. We'll also talk to one of his players, KJ Simpson. Also, Neil Welk of CUBuffs.com is going to join us. We're talking football recruiting under Coach Prime and the record-setting win as well. And the CU women's basketball team wraps up non-conference play. They're sitting at 10-3, getting a big win at Marquette. All this week on the Buffalo Stampede.
Wins it, 86-78 is the final, and for Tad Boyle, he is now the all-time winningest coach in the history of Colorado men's basketball.
Well, there's the record as Tad Boyle becomes the winningest coach in Colorado men's basketball history. Number 262, hard-fought win as the Buff knock off Southern Utah at the Event Center. Hi, everybody. Voice of the Bus, Mark Johnson here. Buffalo Stampede television show. Number 260. Boy, you've got your image on a T-shirt now.
Yeah.
Now, you reach a certain level of life when they put you on a T-shirt.
It's a silhouette.
I know.
Yeah, right? It's a silhouette.
That was, you know what, in a career that you put together here, when you know, you've got a team, I think your program, it's built on defense and rebounding and playing hard and playing tough. That's the kind of win you got for the record.
Yeah, it was. It was hard fought,
yeah.
and boy, a testament to our fans.
Yep.
I mean, with the cold front coming in, and you know, there's schools that canceled games because the cold front comes in, and our fans show up and show out in the face of that. So my thank you to them, everybody that came tonight, and we've got so many people that support this program from afar, and it's just so nice to see former players, you know, that are so much a part of it, and our current players. Because that's why we do what we do every day, Mark, is for the players. And sometimes coaches get a little bit more credit than they deserve. Yeah. Sometimes we get a little bit more blame than we deserve. But that goes with the territory. So anyway, I'm very humbled.
12 seasons, 13 games, and it was 13th season here. You get this record. You know, it's amazing. As you said, you don't get into this to win games, right?
No.
You've talked about it many times. You get in for the relationships and helping players and helping grow young men. But it's amazing how those victories add up. What do you think about when you think of 12 plus seasons?
Yeah, I mean, it's just a matter. I mean, sometimes you're just grinding. You know, we're going day to day, game to game, so you don't get a chance to really stop and reflect and look back. I'm kind of glad this happened, you know, right when we have about 3 or 4 days here for the holidays, where our players get to go home and we get to spend some time with our families. So I'm going to try to reflect on this, and it means a lot, because the University of Colorado basketball means a lot to me. Mike Bone hired me when I had a losing record.
That's right, at UNC.
At Northern Colorado. How many people do that?
Yeah.
And he deserves some credit.
I'll never forget, Mike called me up, by the way, and he says, hey, I'm thinking about hiring Tad Boyle. I'm not getting a lot of support. and you know, this was not an overly attractive position when you took
it wasn't. No, and I'm sure he took some heat. You know, I'm not, back then, there might have been social media then. I don't know how long ago it started, but I wasn't on it. I didn't want to know that stuff. But I'm sure he did take some heat, because I hear he hires a guy with a losing record coming from UNC. And, you know, my thing is I always want to do my best for this university and make it proud, and make our former players proud, and make our fans proud.
Tad referenced hearing from former players. In fact, it was on the Buff Vision boards here at the event center. Let's take a look at that great video as Tad Boyle becomes the winningest coach in Colorado men's basketball history. Presented by Coors Light. Coors Light, mountain cold refreshment made to chill. Celebrate responsibly.
TB, Tad Boyle.
Congrats on becoming the all-time winningest coach in Colorado men's basketball history. Boys said you're doing things there that no one's ever done before.
I mean, it's unbelievable. It really is. Can you imagine a guy with no talent, no abilities whatsoever, becoming the winningest all-time head coach? I mean, it's unbelievable.
Winningest coach in Colorado history. Who could not guard me?
Obviously, your legacy on the court is unmatched, but your legacy off of it through us players is as well.
You represented a player and a person of high character.
You know, we're judged on the outcome and we're celebrated for these great accomplishments, but it's all these things you've done for all the players you've coached and all the people that you've worked with.
I wouldn't be where I am in my life and my career without you.
An incredible accomplishment, and I can't wait to see how far you push this record.
There is no better person
to deserve that honor. You are Colorado through and through.
It's funny how over my 5 years at Colorado and 4 years playing and 88 wins, we never really talked about the wins and the losses. Instead, we talked about the process to commit to winning.
Your consistency and your longevity is extremely admiring from me.
I know you're probably hating every second of this video right now and all the attention you're receiving, but you deserve it and so much more.
I had no doubt that you wouldn't do something like this. The one thing I did know is you'd be successful.
You are truly one of a kind that created a culture that's going to last for generations to come.
You believed in Colorado basketball, and we all followed.
Such an amazing coach. Nobody deserves this more. Love you, Coach.
Continue to do what you do. Congratulations once again. Much love.
I love you, Coach. I miss you, and congratulations.
Great stuff there. Great to see so many former classmates, teammates, players in there. You had your high school coach in there. How about that?
I know. Yeah, Coach Hicks. How about that? Yeah, he was. I remember Monday practices with Coach Hicks. The ball didn't come out. The defensive emphasis that I have, it came straight from that man because I wanted to be sick every Monday, but I knew I wouldn't play on Friday if I was. So I just got it through those practices. But yeah, so many people have touched my life. I've been so blessed, Mark, in my coaching career and my playing career. Very, very fortunate.
Your former teammate Chris Piper not being very complimentary of your game, by the way.
Well, that's Pipe. Pipe's Pipe. I don't. I'll get him this summer on the golf course. He'll pay for those words at some point.
Well, great stuff. Let's talk about your basketball team. Okay, you wrap up non-conference players, sitting at 8-5. How do you feel about this now as you make the turn into that 18-game stretch?
Well, I feel, look, we're making some strides. Tristan Da Silva and KJ Simpson are really coming along. Javon Hadley's been really consistent for us. I think I like our depth. I like our bench play. We have to stay healthy. We were without Luke and Lawson against Southern Utah, so we need to get everybody healthy. But I feel good about where we are. I don't want to have any regrets as we move forward. As I look back at our 13 games we've played, I've got 2 or 3 regrets. Like Grammy game is a regret.
Yeah.
The Arizona State game is a big regret. Yeah. So we got to live like there's no tomorrow and not have any regrets.
All right. Buffs are going to get a few days off for the holiday and then come back and then jump into Pac-12 play. Coach, congratulations.
Thank you very much.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Tad Boyle, 262 wins. We're going to keep talking basketball as we take a break here at the Buffalo Stampede.
Correct. It was just a tough bounce for basketball. Here's the explosive KJ. Know how playing great. And so is KJ Simpson.
There's our guy KJ Simpson at a game-high 21 points for the Buffaloes as they get a victory, wrapping up non-conference play, taking care of Southern Utah here at the Event Center, back in the Stampede. There he is right now. Showered, got treatment. He's all fresh, ready to go.
Yeah.
Nice win for you guys. That was a tough win, though, wasn't it? I mean, you guys had to grind that one out.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, they were a tough team. I mean, we saw that on the film. And we talked about that during practice. They were able to come back from big leads, and they kind of showed it a little bit, but we were just able to hold them off and keep playing our game.
The way you guys are playing right now, there were some up and down moments early in the season. Tough schedule, up and down moments. The last 4 or 5 games, you guys are kind of finding your rhythm, aren't you?
Yeah, I feel like it's just we have to play our game. We can't fall trapped, playing the other team's game, getting too sped up, too out of control, just stuff like that. Once we play our game, then things will fall in our favor.
How would you say, you had a very nice freshman season, but now you come into your sophomore campaign and the ball's in your hands. How do you think you've matured as a player a little bit over the last half season here?
Yeah, I feel, it's only been a year, but I feel like I matured a lot, especially with the role I have now, being one of the leaders on the team. And I had great leaders, my freshman year to look up to. Now I just take some things that I learned from them and use it to myself to help the team, but just more patient. I feel like patience is the biggest key that I've learned. Just reading the floor more, just getting more guys involved, things like that.
When you think about basketball, you don't think of patience, right? It's such a fast game. But that's what Tad talks to you about, right? You've got to hurry, but don't be too fast, right?
Exactly.
And that's an odd, I think, a kind of a psychological thing you got to figure out.
No, for sure. Especially me, I like going 100 miles an hour all the time. But sometimes, when you have speed like that, you can, change in pace, things like that. You can use it to your advantage in different spurts. But Coach talks about that a lot, and it's working for sure.
This was a ball game as well. The style of Southern Utah, a little bit in your face. They play, one of the assistant coaches said they play a little bully ball. That becomes a self-control part of this game, doesn't it? You guys didn't want to react in this contest.
No, for sure. We talked about that, especially at the end. We don't want to do nothing dumb. We don't want nothing silly to happen. We just want to keep our composure.
So the Buffaloes get the win, wrap up their non-conference slate, now sitting at 8-5. And after the ball game, we heard from a couple of players. Powered by Ford. Cars, trucks, and SUVs built for America. Built Ford proud.
Represent. That's history. We get to wear history, so that's tough. I didn't know, to be honest, last game that he tied the record. But as I said last time, I mean, it's a testament to what he's done here at the University of Colorado and the work and effort he put in. So it's well deserved, and we're all proud of him. We're like on a 12-day run right now with practices and games, so it was a grind out there, that's for sure. But you know, it was a little bit scrappy, I guess. You could see that at the end. You know, we fought and we kept ourselves in the game and gave ourselves a chance to win at the end of the day. So that's all that we were looking for.
We stress attacking the paint before we get jump shots. So that's a big thing for us every game, is just getting paint touches. And I think that leads to better shots on the perimeter as well. So I feel like we did a pretty decent job getting to the free throw line and attacking the rim, and then just getting stops down the stretch when we needed to. But overall, we did a good job getting stops at the end of the game.
There's Tristan Da Silva and Nick Clifford after the Buffs get the win over Southern Utah. We continue with KJ Simpson. 262 wins. Okay, you've been here. There was over 20 a year ago. Now for 8 this year, you're somewhere around 30 wins under Tad Boyle. So you got a big part of that right now. But that's kind of cool. I mean, we got Sox Walseth over there in the corner of the court. He's a legend around here, and now you play for the winningest guy in Colorado basketball history. How about that?
That's crazy. You know, it's crazy. It's just amazing to be a part of. You know, there's really not much more to say. It's just unbelievable, and it shows all the hard work he's put in.
Tell fans out there what it is as a player playing for Tad Boyle. I mean, he's a guy, you and I were talking on radio tonight, and said there's no gray area with Tad. You know exactly where you stand with him.
Exactly.
Do you appreciate that as a player?
No, I respect that for sure. I'm really big on trust and loyalty, and that's who he is as a person. You know, he cares about you the most, but he's going to say things to you, and that's going, you know, things that you need to hear, not things that you always want to hear. Yeah. And that's really big. And you know, it's a big key, especially here, and he just helped me grow up for sure and mature. You
know, we had Tad on here just a moment ago. We were talking. I think when you get your own silhouette on a T-shirt, that's kind of a big deal.
That's cool.
You've risen to a pretty good level of society.
Yeah, you do. And now I have it.
Now you got one too.
I got one.
You got one too. All right, now you guys got to make the turn here. You got a few days off for Christmas. Now you make the turn. You hit that 18-game gauntlet of the Pac-12. You feel good about the way this team's playing?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, you know, we're able to rack up a couple good wins, but the biggest key is, you know, coming back and maintaining that same focus that we had, you know, after the games that we did lose, you know, keeping that same hunger and coming back even hungrier, for sure.
You're gonna get back home for a couple of days?
Yeah, I have a flight tomorrow. I'll be able to go back home. I'll make sure to do things while I'm on break.
When the Simpson family's together, what's the best thing that happens during Christmas?
I mean, just the gathering, you know, just everybody just comes back and we all like give each other gifts at midnight. We don't wait till the morning. We do it at midnight.
Christmas Eve,
so it's just really fun, all the food and everything.
So you feel pretty good that in the stocking it's going to be something good, not cold?
Oh, yeah.
You've been a good boy this
My
year?
mom said make sure I leave some room for things I need to take back, so that's good.
I like it. Hey, congratulations. Have a great holiday.
Thank you.
All right, KJ Simpson playing some fantastic basketball right now as the Buffaloes get a nice win over Southern Utah. Coming up next, Neil Welk, contributing editor of CUBuffs.com, is going to join us.
It's official. At the University of Colorado Boulder, we're ready for prime time. What do you say?
Yeah! It's prime time! I think we all know it's been a real challenging year for our football program, including our fans, alums, our staff, but today's a new day. This is when we focus on what's ahead and the bright future that's ahead of us, and coming together for a common purpose, and that's to bring this program back to national prominence. That's what we have to do. It starts today.
Well, that right there is one of the most notable moments in Colorado athletics history. That was the announcement of Deion Sanders. Coach Prime is a head coach of the Buffaloes, back at the Stampede. Voice of the Buffs, Mark Johnson. Hey, look what we found. He was wandering around outside in the cold weather. Neil Welk, contributing editor to CUBuffs.com. We haven't had you on the show for a while. I don't know you're still around.
Well, you know, I like to come up for the big stuff.
Well, and the hiring of Coach Prime certainly was.
Yes.
First time we've had you on the show. Give us a thought or two about that.
Certainly, I have only been covering college football for about 40 years.
Right.
So I can't say that this is the biggest, the most hullabaloo I've ever seen over a head coach, or that ever has been, but it's the most I've seen. Mark, the national attention that was focused on Colorado overnight, and I think a lot of people have said that, and it's true. University of Colorado football overnight became relevant again. And it, you know, automatically attracted the eyes of recruits. It automatically attracted the eyes of fans, boosters. Everybody is excited about Coach Prime, and for good reason. You know, he had a great record at Jackson State, and he's bringing, you know, a new attitude to the University of Colorado.
Well, Neil goes back to pre-Bill McCartney, okay? So he's been around for a little while, right? And I've been saying about this, Coach Prime is one of one. He brings a quality to this thing that I'm not sure we've ever seen a coach. Somebody asked me, would there be nobody else who bring this kind of attention? I said, well, maybe if you hired Oprah, that might do it.
Yeah,
I'm not sure.
yeah.
But that's the aspect about this that I think is so fascinating for all of us in this program.
Yeah, and it's more than just, I mean, obviously he knows football, Hall of Fame, you know, college Hall of Famer, pro football Hall of Famer, great player, also a very good baseball player, you know, just one of the great athletes of our generation. But he also brings that swagger to you know, his personality.
He's a cultural icon.
Yes, exactly. Right? Yeah, he brings that personality to the program, and certainly it's a great injection of publicity that this program needed, and a great injection of accountability and things that are going to happen right away.
You know, now what he's done from a recruiting standpoint, because of the relevancy that Neil's talking about, it's altered the recruiting landscape. And as we're taping this, I mean, the commitments are still coming in, the signing is still coming in. But what we've seen here so far is that just getting a phone call from Coach Prime, Deion Sanders, all of a sudden alters the course of that, and the talent's piling up.
Yeah, and kids that committed to schools like Auburn, kids that were ready to sign at Miami and places like that, have decided to come to Colorado. This was a program that was 1-11 a year ago, Mark.
Maybe the most irrelevant program in America last year.
Yes, and they changed their mind, and it's because Coach Prime and his staff have convinced these kids that they are going to turn it around, and it's not going to take 3 or 4 years. It's not a rebuilding issue. He's going to get it built overnight, and I think those kids have bought into that. And certainly the class that he is signing, you know, as we speak, you're seeing the kind of progress in the recruiting already. I mean, he's bringing in good players.
You know, the most important position in all of sports is quarterback, obviously. And we found out even at his opening press conference who the quarterback is going to be, Shedeur Sanders. And by the way, if you had a chance to watch that Celebration Bowl, he's a unique talent, Neil. I mean, it's one thing to say, well, it's the coach's kid. It's another when you watch the tape of this young man. He changes everything with what he does at that position.
He's a playmaker. He's got an arm, and he makes great decisions, and you can't coach that. You can to a degree, but what I was really impressed with watching him in that Celebration Bowl were the decisions that he made. He made good decisions. He knew where his receivers were. He checked down. He made sure that he was throwing to the right place at the right time in the right window. And that's what impressed me more. I mean, there are a lot of kids with great arms. There are a lot of kids with great legs. He has that it factor as far as quarterbacks go.
You know, you've only been covering this program for 40+ years. I've only been here for 19 now, but this is it's like the desert for this fan base, right? They are just starving for something, and the way they're soaking this up has been amazing to watch in terms of what Buff Nation's doing.
Oh, just everything from the sale of jerseys and the gear that's been sold, the amount of money that's coming in from boosters, the amount of money that's coming into NIL, and all those things are really, really, you know, jumping up. And the national publicity, it's not just from around here, it's the national writers who are saying Colorado is back. Colorado hasn't played a game yet, but people are saying Colorado is back. That's a big deal.
I don't want to wrap up our time without Neil. We're standing here at the, on Tad's court. Sox over there in the corner, but it's Tad's court right now. The winningest coach in Colorado history. You happen to be here for this ball game tonight. 262 wins. You knew Sox very well. Put this in perspective for us.
Well, Sox was a legend. Sox coached some great teams. Sox won 3 Big 8 titles when the Big 8 was really a heck of a conference. And what Tad has done here is nothing short of amazing. Colorado has never been a basketball school, so to speak. And all Tad does is win 20 games every year. All Tad does is go to the NCAA tournament. All Tad does is win games. And he does it consistently, and he does it, and he's recruited well. He graduates kids. It is a program that, as a graduate of the University of Colorado, I am proud that Tad Boyle is the coach at the University of Colorado.
Yep, there's no doubt about it. As we say on our broadcast, he always does it the right way and wins on a consistent basis. Good to see Neil. Come back and see us again sometime.
Next time Coach breaks the record.
He shows up for only the big moments. Neil Welk, always read his stuff at cubuffs.com. He's one of the contributing editors. Coming up next here at the Buffalo Stampede, we're going to talk women's basketball as J.R. Payne and the women are now 10-3 in the season, getting a big win on the road against Marquette.
There it is. Backdoor cut. You just mentioned it. And Miller wide open for the easy look underneath. Timeout Marquette. away. Miller launches a three. So there's her talent right there.
In defense.
Chloe's got 6. Leader for Marquette offensively, and there's Miller's sweet stroke.
Well, there's some highlights of Quay Miller. She had 17 points. The Colorado women go on the road, play their final non-conference game, rolling over Marquette in Milwaukee, improved to 10-3 on the season. Colorado left its mark in the L. McGuire Center. The Buffaloes led from start to finish, held Marquette to its season low in scoring in a 71-48 victory to close out non-conference play. Buffaloes were led by Quay Miller, as we saw the highlights there. Her 17 points, also had 7 rebounds. Buffs starting 5 accounted for 65 of the team's 71 points. Aronette Vinelay contributed 16 points, 6 rebounds. Jalen Sherrod, the outstanding guard, returned to the lineup with 15 points and 8 assists. And Frida Foreman scored 13 points. Buffs opened the game shooting 73% in the first quarter. Saw a little drop off the rest of the day. Colorado hit 59.6% from the field, 31 of 52, shooting red hot in the contest. So the Buffaloes get that nice victory over Marquette, putting a wrap on the non-conference slate. Now they'll take a few days off for the holiday, and then they'll open up Pac-12 conference play next week, taking a trip to the Washington schools, playing in Seattle and in Pullman. As we put a wrap on the Buffalo Stampede, I'm voice of the bus, Mark Johnson, wishing you a very Merry Christmas, and we're going to leave you as we look back once again on the celebration as Tad Boyle becomes the winningest coach in Colorado men's basketball history. He had some very kind words on the court here at the event center after setting the record with 262 wins.
I can't tell you how much I appreciate our fan base. 12 and a half years ago when we got here, we've built something special, and this accomplishment does not happen alone. My family is here. My mom comes to every game. Thank you, Mom. My wife and 3 kids. But look, this happens with players. Let's make no mistake, players get this done. So I want to thank the current players that we have, obviously, for getting this done tonight. Even though it wasn't pretty, we've got so many former players that deserve this honor, and so much of my staff, support staff. There's 4 people who have been here from the beginning: Marge Marcy, Mindy Scalero, Mike Rohn, and Bill Carton. You guys sharing this as much as I do, as does our whole staff: Rick Ray, Bill Greer, Zach, Steve, Raleigh, the whole crew. I mean, this does not happen by accident. And I've had a lot of support and a lot of love. And the one thing I want you fans to know is we are not done yet. I've never felt more excited about the future of Colorado basketball than I do today. And it's because of these players, the ones we got coming in, and the ones we're going to keep recruiting. So thank you very much. I love you all. Go Buffs.